Cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin has become all the rage. Some historians see it as the latest phase in the evolution of money. Many technologists are intrigued by the potential of its innovative blockchain technology. For numerous entrepreneurs, especially early adopters, cryptocurrency represents a once in a generation wealth opportunity. However, it's also suffered numerous cybercrimes and market crashes, resulting in a chorus of critics warning that it's risky and perhaps a pyramid scheme. To understand how we got to this point and what all the excitement and controversy is about, let's take a look at the history of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is the latest attempt to reinvent the way we exchange money. Throughout history, humans have relied on some sort of payment system to purchase goods and services. People initially used a bartering system, swapping things like livestock for grain. But this proved to be difficult and inconsistent to determine value. To remedy the inconvenience of bartering, intermediaries such as gold were used as a medium of exchange. Unfortunately, precious metals have a limited supply because they are difficult to produce. Thus, gold and silver were eventually replaced by government-issued currencies, or what's known as fiat, such as the US dollar and euro. But because it's easy to make a lot of paper money, fiat faces issues such as debasement and inflation. If there has been one consistent theme regarding the evolution of payments, it's that people prefer payments that are convenient and transactional. Consequently, some economists and historians consider cryptocurrency the most important payment invention since gold. Bitcoin began the cryptocurrency revolution when it launched in 2008, but it had several earlier ancestors and developments that made it possible. The origin of cryptocurrency is, of course, related to the beginning of the Internet, which revolutionized the world like nothing before. After all, if there was no global system of interconnected computer networks, cryptocurrency wouldn't be able to function. David Chaum is widely regarded as the earliest pioneer in cryptocurrency. In 1983, while he was a graduate student at Berkeley, he published a research paper that introduced the idea of an untraceable digital cash. Chaum is sometimes called the godfather of anonymous communication because he invented many of the cryptographic protocols that laid the groundwork for cryptocurrency. He believed that privacy was necessary for an open society in the Internet age, but that government, corporations, and other faceless organizations couldn't be counted on to provide it. Therefore, it was necessary to create and encourage widespread use of strong cryptography and privacy tools. Chaum's ideology would help inspire the creation of Bitcoin decades later. Unfortunately, his ideas were way ahead of his time and struggled to gain adoption. DigiCash, the company Chaum founded in 1989 to make his vision a reality, declared bankruptcy, and he abandoned the project. Initially, there was great reluctance to utilize the Internet for transactions. Banks and merchants were deterred by technical difficulties and legal uncertainties. The first true e-commerce transaction didn't happen until the early 1990s, when online merchants began listing products on the World Wide Web and accepting credit cards. In the mid-1990s, the dot-com boom began, and with it came the first working digital currencies. One of the first was eGold, founded in 1996 and backed by gold. It was unique compared to traditional payment methods in that it was purely digital in nature, and transactions were completely irreversible. It became hugely popular and had more than 5 million users. Although eGold was likely started with benevolent intentions, it quickly became a haven for criminals and was subsequently shut down by the US government. Silicon Valley entrepreneurs looked for new ways to improve online transactions. A major breakthrough came in 1998 when Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and others founded PayPal. This worldwide online payment system supports money transfers over the Internet and serves as a digital alternative to traditional paper methods like checks and money orders. PayPal remains to this day a very popular and successful way of sending money in cyberspace, although it now faces growing competition from Google Wallets, Apple Pay, and others. While both eGold and PayPal helped facilitate online transactions, they lacked many of the characteristics of cryptocurrency. For one thing, both represent a claim of value. eGold was a digital representation of gold, while PayPal was a digital transfer of fiat, or currency. A cryptocurrency, by contrast, is a value itself. Additionally, both eGold and PayPal were managed by a central authority coordinating transactions. Cryptocurrencies, on the other hand, are decentralized, meaning there's no middleman that coordinates transactions between two parties. Still, eGold and PayPal were important precursors to Bitcoin because they demonstrated the ability to utilize cyberspace to transfer funds and make purchases. Now, around the same time that these online payment systems launched, a group of NSA researchers published a paper in a law journal that outlined a system very much like Bitcoin, in which secure financial transactions were possible through the use of a decentralized network. In 1998, two computer scientists took this concept a step further. Nick Szabo designed a mechanism for decentralized digital currency he called BitGold. Szabo proposed using smart contracts, which are digital contracts that cut out the middleman using computer supervision. He later worked with Bitcoin's founder to help Bitcoin get off the ground. Meanwhile, Wei Dai outlined the basic principles of all modern-day cryptocurrency systems in a paper entitled B-Money, an Anonymous Distributed Electronic Cash System. Neither BitGold nor B-Money were ever implemented, but they are widely regarded as direct precursors to Bitcoin's architecture. In fact, Dai's work was cited in Bitcoin's proposal. As a tribute to Wei Dai's contribution, the smallest unit of a now popular cryptocurrency known as Ethereum is called the Wei. Despite these breakthroughs, though, it would take another decade before the idea for cryptocurrency became a reality. Enter Bitcoin. Although Bitcoin isn't the first proposed cryptocurrency, it's notable because it's the first working cryptocurrency. Equally important is the trailblazing record-keeping technology that it introduced to the world, namely blockchain. Bitcoin's history begins on Halloween in the year 2008. October 31st, 2008 was the day that Satoshi Nakamoto published his white paper, which outlined his vision for this new currency and technology. Nakamoto proposed a purely peer-to-peer vision of electronic cash that would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. Only 8 pages long and distributed for free online, this white paper began the whole cryptocurrency and blockchain frenzy. The launch of Bitcoin occurred in the midst of the global financial crisis of 2008, and that's probably not a coincidence. The public had become very distrustful of the government and big banks to manage their money, which opened the door to a new way of doing things. Nakamoto offered a forward-thinking way to change long-established financial protocols. Using Bitcoin, funds could be potentially transferred instantly, anonymously, and without middleman fees or government oversight. Many and varied successful people took notice of this and wanted to be part of it. Nakamoto's fame spread so far that he was even nominated for the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2015. Now, you may be wondering, well, who is this visionary and where did he come from? This is where the history of cryptocurrency turns into something of a mystery novel. Nakamoto completely disappeared shortly after launching Bitcoin. No one really knows who Bitcoin's founder is. The name Satoshi Nakamoto is believed to be a pseudonym, and his identity remains a mystery. He could be a she, or he could be a group of people. Although there have been many rumors, claims, and debates about who is Nakamoto, his identity has never been adequately verified. Adding to the mystery, Nakamoto has not accessed his Bitcoin wallet, which contains over 1 million Bitcoins, placing its value in the billions of dollars. Before vanishing, Nakamoto appointed a successor, Gavin Anderson, a software developer who helped build Bitcoin's original coin. Nakamoto's parting words in an email stated, "I've moved on to other things. It's in good hands with Gavin and everyone." Anderson later founded a non-profit organization called the Bitcoin Foundation, which helped further develop and publicize Bitcoin. In homage to Nakamoto, the smallest fraction of a Bitcoin that can be sent is known as a Satoshi. Bitcoin came to life on January 3, 2009. That's the date of the so-called Genesis block, or the first block of transactions published on the Bitcoin blockchain. The first block also includes text from Nakamoto noting that failure of traditional banking. Cryptocurrency was no longer just an idea at this point. Now, Nakamoto's dream was a reality, but it took time to turn the fledgling technology into a robust, anonymous, decentralized payment system. Initially, Bitcoin had no monetary value. Its computer software was available free online, and programmers would acquire Bitcoin through a process known commonly as proof of work or mining, which involves the solving of difficult cryptographic problems using computers. Miners would trade Bitcoin back and forth for fun. May 22, 2010 marked a key date in Bitcoin's development. It was the first time anyone had actually used Bitcoin to purchase any kind of product or good. As such, it's a very notable date in cryptocurrency history, and it's often colloquially referred to as Bitcoin Pizza Day. On that day, a Florida programmer named Laszlo Hanyecz posted on a Bitcoin forum that he was interested in buying pizzas with Bitcoins. He negotiated to get $25 worth of pizza, which worked out to 2 pizzas delivered by Papa John's, in exchange for 10,000 of his Bitcoins. Now, when you crunch the numbers, that transaction pegged the price of Bitcoin to a quarter of a penny. So that means that he had to pay 4 Bitcoin for every penny worth of pizza. That transaction essentially established the initial real-world price or value of Bitcoin, and it showed that Bitcoin could actually be used as a means of payment. Now, soon after that, Bitcoin miners began realizing they could actually make money off of their Bitcoins, and they started to sell their Bitcoins on exchanges, such as Mt. Gox and TradeHill. Over a 5-day period beginning on July 12th of 2009, the market value of Bitcoin increased 10 times from less than a penny to 8 cents. By November 2010, Bitcoin's market cap reached $1 million and Bitcoin's price reached 50 cents per coin. The first mobile transaction occurred in December 2010. The use of Bitcoin to make purchases really took off in January 2011, when a website known as Silk Road was established. Silk Road served as an online marketplace for selling illicit drugs, and it accepted Bitcoin. This helped Bitcoin get going because all of a sudden it had a real use case. Because cryptocurrency can be sent by anyone to anyone with relative anonymity, the digital rights group Electronic Frontier Foundation dubbed it a censorship-resistant digital currency. Consequently, WikiLeaks began accepting Bitcoin when the US government pressured traditional payment processors, such as Visa and MasterCard, to block donations. Soon, many people were using Bitcoin to fund all kinds of secret and sordid transactions. By February 2011, Bitcoin reached parity with the US dollar, selling at a rate of 1 Bitcoin for $1. Unfortunately, Bitcoin's association with unlawful sites tainted its reputation. Despite Silk Road ultimately being shut down by law enforcement, and many legitimate businesses now accepting Bitcoin, to this day Bitcoin is often stigmatized in the media as a currency that only criminals use to buy and sell illegal things. But publicity is publicity, as they say, and this saying certainly proved true for Bitcoin. Following an article published by Gawker about Silk Road and Bitcoin, Bitcoin's price skyrocketed. If it catches on, Time magazine predicted in an April 2011 story, Bitcoin might pose a threat not just to governments, but to payment processors as well. Bitcoin hit almost $30 in June 2011 before falling and ending 2011 valued at just over $5. Thus began a trend in price volatility, which remains present to this day. And Bitcoin's increasing media coverage and rising price began to catch the attention of other tech entrepreneurs who saw the potential to make money from cryptocurrency. For the first couple of years of its existence, Bitcoin had been synonymous with cryptocurrency because it was the only cryptocurrency. It wasn't until 2011 that other competitors appeared, such as Litecoin. These alternative coins, or altcoins as they're often called, were forks of Bitcoin using its open source code and were intended to improve upon certain elements of the Bitcoin design, such as speed or anonymity. There are presently thousands of cryptocurrencies, but Bitcoin remains by far the leading one in terms of recognition and market cap. The next 5 years, from 2012 to 2016, brought about major growth for cryptocurrency, coupled with several significant setbacks. First, some of the highlights. In 2012, WordPress became the first notable online merchant to accept payment in Bitcoin, and they were eventually followed by other major retailers such as Microsoft, Overstock.com, and PayPal. This was considered to be the first step towards cryptocurrency becoming widely accepted internationally as a legitimate payment method. In total, during this period, an estimated 160,000 merchants accepted Bitcoin. Bitcoin also became part of pop culture. Popular network TV shows such as CBS's The Good Wife featured storylines involving Bitcoin. In 2013, the world's first Bitcoin ATM opened in San Diego, California, and there are now thousands of cryptocurrency ATMs worldwide. On November 28, 2013, Bitcoin passed the $1,000 mark per coin. This was quite remarkable because that one Bitcoin that was worth only a quarter of a penny 4 years earlier and used to buy a pizza was now worth $1,100. Bitcoin's market cap had surpassed $1 billion, and its network was moving more money than Western Union. Wall Street and U.S. government officials began paying more attention to cryptocurrency. A Bitcoin ticker was added to the Bloomberg terminal so that Bitcoin's value could be tracked in real time. A U.S. court opined in a ruling, it's clear that the Bitcoin can be used as money. It can be used to purchase goods or services. Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke said, virtual currencies may hold long-term promise, particularly if the innovations promote a faster, more secure, and more efficient payment system. Prominent venture capitalists and entrepreneurs began entering the market. The New York Stock Exchange invested $75 million in Coinbase, which would become the largest United States-based cryptocurrency exchange. Meanwhile, the Winklevoss twins, Tyler and Cameron, launched a cryptocurrency exchange named Gemini, which would go on to become a top exchange as well. The brothers used a chunk of their $65 million legal settlement from Mark Zuckerberg, whom they accused of stealing their idea for Facebook, to invest heavily in Bitcoin a few years earlier when it was only $120 per coin. That daring investment ultimately made them billionaires. But not all the news during this period was good. There were also a number of setbacks for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. One was environmental concerns. Bitcoin was drawing criticisms from environmentalists about the amount of energy its network used to process transactions. In response, two programmers, Sonny King and Scott Nadel, proposed using a new method known as proof of stake to reduce the processing power and electricity necessary to manage cryptocurrency transactions. Many cryptocurrencies developed since then utilize this more environmentally friendly method. Another big concern was cybersecurity. In February 2014, the largest cryptocurrency exchange, Mt. Gox, was hacked, resulting in account holders collectively losing nearly 1 million bitcoins. The entire cryptocurrency market suffered. This scandal illustrates the costly risks involved with cryptocurrency and why critics sometimes liken it to the old Wild West. Bitcoin also encountered some legal obstacles during this time period. Thailand banned Bitcoin that same year, and more nations would follow. The threat of regulation gave pause to potential institutional investors. Cryptocurrency, however, remained legal in America and Europe. As a result of this combination of good and bad news, Bitcoin's price significantly fluctuated up and down during this 4-year period. Bitcoin's roller coaster ride in value reached new heights in 2017. The year 2017 brought unprecedented growth for Bitcoin and for the entire cryptocurrency market. The granddaddy of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, began the year worth about $1,000 per coin. A major Bitcoin milestone occurred in March 2017 when one Bitcoin hit $1,200 and overtook the price of an ounce of gold. Bitcoin's price continued to skyrocket for the next 10 months as many new investors jumped in due to FOMO, an acronym that means fear of missing out. Riding Bitcoin's coattails, the entire cryptocurrency market flourished, with more than 1,000 cryptocurrencies being sold on exchanges, and many attaining incredible profit margins. By June 2017, one Bitcoin was worth nearly $3,000, and the total market cap for cryptocurrency hit $100 billion. Bitcoin's price continued to rise rapidly. In late November, it hit $10,000 for the very first time, which was a tenfold increase from the beginning of the year. On December 17th, 2017, Bitcoin set a new record that's yet to be broken. It hit nearly $20,000 per coin. Meanwhile, the total market cap for cryptocurrency peaked shortly after that at around $800 billion. If cryptocurrency can be said to have a golden age in its young life, 2017 was definitely it. But the quick parabolic gains worried many financial experts, including Warren Buffett, who warned that cryptocurrency was a bubble that would end badly. Turns out he may have been right. Early in 2018, the market came tumbling down. A series of disconcerting events, including new government regulations in many Asian countries and a bankruptcy court ordering Mt. Gox to liquidate its remaining 100,000 bitcoins to repay creditors, caused Bitcoin's price, along with the cryptocurrency market, to enter a great recession. By summer 2018, the price of Bitcoin had dipped below $6,000 and the total cryptocurrency market had shrunk to about $250 million, illustrating the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or FUD, that continued to surround cryptocurrency. New York Post business columnist John Crudell declared Bitcoin would never recover. He said, "It's a fake currency, which I like to call Bitcoin. It's a Ponzi scheme, confidence game, fraud. Bitcoin is headed for the value of zilch. It's only a matter of when." Many others agree with these dire forecasts. Despite these ominous predictions, a number of recent developments have many investors expecting a turnaround. An April 2018 study conducted by Ipsos found the number of Americans and Europeans investing in cryptocurrency was expected to triple in the near future. Goldman Sachs announced plans to open a crypto trading desk. BlackRock and Facebook expressed interest in venturing into cryptocurrency as well. Most recently, the Marshall Islands enacted a law that replaces the US dollar with its own cryptocurrency as the country's official currency. Bitcoin could someday reach $100,000 or more, or it could go to zero. It's anyone's guess. Still, considering we're less than a decade on from cryptocurrency's implementation, it seems likely that we're just seeing the start of adoption for this bold idea. It's important to note that 2018 wasn't the first time Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market experienced a major recession. There have been a couple other big corrections in the past, and the market eventually recovered a year or two later. If there's one thing Bitcoin's history has consistently demonstrated, it's that it's resilient.